Today's podcast is sponsored by Fire Facilities Incorporated, expert engineers, designers, and manufacturers of steel training towers, burn rooms, and mobile units that are all made in the USA. I wish there was a button that when you walked in the firehouse for your shift, you pushed your thumb against it and your ego just left and you focused on the citizens. Doesn't matter what you do, those citizens will always come first. So I started to go again, and I went like an idiot. The first one I did was the 2-day nozzle forward up in Indianapolis with Aaron Fields. That thing, for this old man, that's a lot. But you know what's baked into that? A lot of failure. And I hate to use that word, but it's some of these techniques you really have to screw them up before you learn them. And it was such a humbling experience. And I realized on the other side of failure is success. And sometimes you just have to go through that valley of failure, man. You just have to. But now let's flip that coin over. Why I was afraid I didn't do it. The other part of it is the friends you make, the people you meet, and the education you get is incredible. I think it was last week, I got to go see Kyle Romagus do Making the Stretch and Cruel Intentions. And it was incredible. It was incredible. It's nothing I could have got online. It's nothing I could have got in a book. It's nothing I could have got anywhere else but in a small room with Kyle Romagus preaching the good word, man. And ironically, we were in a church. So there's just something about that being around these 1%ers, to your point, just get you jazzed up again. You fall in love with the fire department all over again. So I can't preach it enough, man. I can't preach it enough. I wish, and I know what people are going to say, but you're going to have to trust me, my shoulders and knees. When I say this, I would give anything to have tried smoke divers when I was younger. If I had one regret in the fire service, man, I wish I would have done that. It would have taken me multiple times, I'm sure, but shoot, that's a lot of honor right there to be a smoke diver.
Yep, it is. It is. And man, I'll tell you something too. So here's something else about outside training that a lot of people they stay away from. Number one, I've heard this so many times from people from departments I've worked for, but they say, I don't want to go to outside training because all it is a bunch of big city jackasses.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. There's a reason a lot of big cities put on trainings, and there's a reason a lot of conferences have guys from bigger cities come in because they've experienced fire. Mm-hmm. They've experienced what they're teaching. You're the one that thinks they're going to be a grade A asshole. I, in all the hands-on training that I've been to over the past few years, I can't think back to one time that I was like, that instructor was the biggest asshole I've ever seen. I can't. Me personally, I can't. Right. But here's another thing too that a lot of that goes on with outside training, and it was like this at my department before I started. Their chief and their battalion chiefs, they didn't want outside training, and they didn't want guys to go to outside training. In other words, they didn't want people to come in. What in the hell? And I'm not trying to be an asshole when I say this. What kind of freaking leadership is that? You don't want people to come in to make your people better because they might learn something. You don't want your people to drive for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours for 2 or 3 or 4, 5, 6 days to go learn something because they might be better and something might change. Excuse my French, what the fuck is going on with that kind of leadership in the American Fire Service, man? What's going on with that?
That ain't leadership.
It ain't leadership. I call it a regime. That's what I call it. It was a regime, and they didn't freaking deserve it.
Now, I've met people in the fire service that they do not want you to get outside training or outside education because it's going to make them look bad because they didn't do it. They don't want 100%. You to know what they don't know. And again, that's not leadership. I'm sorry. If you got bugles, it doesn't mean you're a leader. You can have white shirt, white helmet. Doesn't mean you're a leader. And it goes right back to informal. Leaders are people that put citizens first, move the fire department forward, move the fire service forward. Yep. That's what a leader is. It's so easy to confuse, hey, well, I'm not a leader. I'm not a captain. Bullshit. You can lead from the back. You can lead from any position in the fire department. If you care about your citizens and you have the passion and you're constantly trying to be better, that's the trick. You got to be better. And some people have the idea of like, well, I don't want to pull hose 9 hours a day and climb ladder. You don't have to do that, man. Being better, investing in yourself, it could be increments, little pieces. It takes little pieces to make a 1,000-piece puzzle to make the full picture, right? Don't go crazy. You don't have to go nuts with it. You'll burn yourself out quicker than shit.
Yep.
Just every day make yourself better. If you leave the firehouse after a 24, 48-hour shift and you're not better than when you got there, you just wasted taxpayers' monies, in my opinion. Now, obviously, if you pulled babies from a burning, bus full of nuns, I'm gonna give you something on that one, but you get what I'm saying. Real quick, I've got BJ said about Dave Mellon, and it's a little late. Mellon has some amazing socks in that stash, though. So,
is he talking about Mellon? Is he talking about Mellon stash?
Mellon stash, yes.
Yeah, Mellon's got a good one. Mine's it's not quite there yet.
That it's a good. I'm not bashing on your mustache, but that would be a Dave Mellon starter pack right there. You're not.
It would be.
You got to get that. Also, guess who won the helmet stickers from the furthest away?
Do I want to know?
Guess how many miles? Just guess how many miles.
700. No, let's go 403.
We're going to go with I don't know. It's in Iqaluit, Canada, which I have taught there last year, Isaac Idleout. And put it this way, it's near the Arctic Circle. I was there last spring. I'm going back in June. So, yeah, I didn't know he was on here. Iqaluit, Canada. It is a fishing village.
I am not going to complain about 0 degrees where I live at right now.
Oh, no.
Because it's probably negative 50 up there, ambient temperature.
Well, here's the thing. There's no grass. There's no trees. It's permafrost and a rock. You can't drive to
And polar bears.
Polar bears. I did see polar bear skins outside people's huts and shit.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Now, here's where
better
they're
than
wrong.
Alligators.
They hunt polar bear up there with guns. This is where I'm just saying there might be pussies. If I'm to hunt a polar bear, I got the captain and I got Tennille. That's all I need. And that bear's
going to be in a tank.
Huh?
I'm going to be in a tank. An army tank on them bastards. Them bastards are big.
I don't know. I knock down bigger things to get to a fight. I ain't afraid of no goddamn polar bear. I hope there's no polar bears listening to this. Oh, my God.
You got it right here.
Oh, Isaac said, yeah, there you go. Bring down the people's elbow. Isaac said it's negative 45 right now. But I think they use Celsius. They don't use freedom units. So I don't know what that is in freedom units.
Cold.
Oh, Dave Mellon said cold. You got a better mustache.
He probably shaved his off. But here's the thing. Mellon shaves
burned his
mustache.
Off.
Mellon shaves his off, and then 2 days later, it's like 4 inches longer than mine. That thing sticks out of his SCBA mask.
He's
it's
one of those guys.
Here, he tucks that thing in his ears.
If he got work, if he holds in a sneeze, he grows a unibrow instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's not me.
Freaking Mellon.
I'll tell you what, great guy, super guy. And you know what? He is actually, he got sponsored his podcast. Hey, Dave, tell me the name of your podcast real quick. I think it's called Station Talk. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let's see what he says here. So it's a fantastic, of course, he has Valor Fire training. It's not hard to find his information in his videos, but he has newer podcasts. It's fantastic. Everybody needs to listen to it. Dave Mellon is absolutely one of the best. I apologize. Back in quarters. Sorry, Dave. Back in quarters.
Yep.
Yes. Back in quarters. So I encourage everybody, right after they listen to 3 Point Firefighter, go straight over to Dave Mellon. You can go to Dave first, I guess. He's better, but don't forget 3 Point Firefighter. So
that's right.
What else are we going to talk about, brother? What haven't we covered?
So we talked about leadership, and I mean, I guess the reason I'm on here is because of that video.
Right. So I'm going to post the video to 3 Point Firefighter page after we're off live because I have yet to figure out how to do it. So here's the story. I saw a video of LJay, and one of the most inspiring get at it video ever. And it got me fired up, man. I told LJay, I just wanted to stay in the fire service another 40 years. It was I want to hear the story behind it, but to let everybody know, the way I try to get guests on podcast is I will text them or email them and, hey, would you please be on my podcast? Blah, blah, blah. literally what I sent LJ is what? What did I tell you?
You said you will be on my podcast.
Yes.
That's what you said.
I did
I
not
didn't have
give
a
you
choice.
Yeah, you didn't have a choice. I said, brother, we're kindred spirits. Because of that video, tell me about the video and the story behind it, please.
So I said this earlier, and I want to make sure people understand who I am. I was raised very humbly by a terrific mom and dad, and in a very humble home. I was raised with humility from the get go, and I wanted to get that out there because I feel that humility wins every time. So I fly down to Texas. My department pays for me to go down to Texas to go see Kevin Pfluger and Matt Valdez with MB Fire Training and Tom Hollick and just a bunch of solid dudes that I'd met in Arkansas when I was there lecturing at Ryan McCormick's First In conference. And Kevin and I and Tom, we just hit it off right away. So Saturday night, I got to stay with Kevin and Matt at an Airbnb when I flew down there to the conference and for the First In line. And Saturday night, we're at the original, the OG San Antonio Firehouse number 7, which is now an Italian eatery. Great food. If you ever go to San Antonio, I would 100% recommend it. But we're sitting there and Kevin goes, man, he goes, I wish I had the words, and this isn't word for word, but he goes, I wish I had the words to kind of rally around and rally the troops in the morning to just get people to get it to get the students prepared for a good day of training. But he goes, he goes, I'm not just a person that just has the words to do that. And I said, I'll do it. And he goes, really? And I said, yeah. I said, give me 3 minutes. That's all I need. Give me 3 minutes and I'll do it. He goes, all right, the stage is yours. So we show up the next morning and we're kind of getting ready to get going. 8 o'clock's getting rolled around, and I thought he'd forgot about it. So he calls everybody over, and we kind of get going. And he goes, hey, he goes, oh, by the way, LJ needs to talk to y'all for a minute. And he goes, are you ready? And I was like, heck, I guess. And he's like, LJ, we talked about this last night. I said, Kevin, I'm good, man. We'll be okay. and I just started going. And first of all, I didn't know I was being videoed. Let's get that out there. So the conference gets over and I fly home Monday and on Tuesday I get home, or actually I think I was on shift when I got back Monday. Yeah. So on Tuesday, man, I'm hanging Christmas lights because I got a landscape business on my days off from the firehouse, and I get a text message from Pfluger said, hey man, can I put your video up on social media? Because somebody had videotaped, and I can't remember the guy's name. Good dude. Derek, I think is who it was. And I was like, hey, yeah, no problem, man. I didn't know I was being videotaped. No big deal. Well, then 30 minutes later, I yanked my phone out of my pocket, and I think I might have even texted him or called. I don't remember if I called, text, or whatever. And I said, hey, can you edit the F-bombs out of there? Because when I give my leadership PowerPoint, I try not to use foul language, okay? I just don't. And he goes, nope. He goes, I don't know how to do that. And I think he might even said it's already posted. And I was like, oh, so I'm just waiting for the hate mail.
Right.
I'm waiting for it. So when I sent that video to you earlier, it said there were 7.5 thousand views on that video. I was caught up in the moment, and I firmly believe that the people that were at that training needed to hear that. And I 100% believe that the people who have heard that video needed to hear that too. Because if you can't find your why, and you can't find your purpose, and you can't find your passion as to why you and I and the people watching this podcast and every firefighter, whether volunteer or big city or in between, do, I question your authenticity of why you signed up to do this job. Your why and your purpose and your passion should drive every single thing, every single shift, and every single call that we do. That's what matters. Every day, your why and your passion, your purpose, that is what matters. Nobody can take you away. Nobody, the IRS can come in. I'm going to get on a rabbit hole, man. You're getting me fired up, Jake.
No, I love it, brother. Go with it.
The IRS can come in and take your money away from you. They can take your house. They can take everything that you have. They can take it. I can get fired from my job tomorrow. Everything in this world can be taken away from you. But the three things that cannot be taken away from us is our why, our purpose, and our passion. Nobody can take that away from you, ever. And if you firmly believe that, you're going to go a long ways in your career. And I don't give a shit what you do for a living. If you're one of us, if you're a CEO in a 150-story high-rise building in Bangkok, I don't know. If you're a state trooper, if you're a cowboy, I don't care what you are. If you have those three things, nobody can take that away from you. Nobody.
That's right.
But you have to figure out a way to find those three things and to move on in life and get after it. And until you find those three things, you're lost, man. I'm not going to lie to you. And the number one thing, your why, if you can't find your why in life, man, you ain't doing the right thing for a living. You're not. I mean, plain and simple. You're not doing the right thing for a living.
Eric Thiel is saying, preach it, with a lot of exclamation marks. And he's exactly right. He's exactly right. What we do, I'm sorry, not everybody can do what we can do. Anybody can fill out a form. Anybody can get on a fire department, but not anybody can be a fireman. Sorry. It's
like I tell my recruits the very first day, listen, there are thousands, and I mean thousands of people when they are little. We'll start out when they're little, and they see that fire truck smoking down the road, running lights and sirens, and that queue is wound up, and it can't get wound up anymore. People look up to us. Mm-hmm. There are so many people who think, I want to do that for a living. But you know what the difference is between you and I and the people watching this podcast and the people who did it? There are so many people, let me back up. There are so many people who want to do this job, but they don't have the guts to fill out the application and to do it. Mm. They don't. There are so many people who would probably be some of the best firefighters in this country, but they don't have the guts to sit down and to take that chance and to learn about this craft and become something great. And I'm not great. I'm not. I'm a nobody, man. I'm a nobody, but I just happen to have the best job in the world, dude. And I love my department. I love the people I serve with. And I got a badass city that backs me, man. I had the guts to take that initiation and to go for it. I've also had some good people in my career who have pushed me to become better. But man, I'm telling you, dude, if you can't find your why, the very first step of the 3-step process, if you can't find your why, man, don't come to my firehouse. Don't you dare fill out an application with us, because I don't want you. Yep. And that why, I'm telling you, Jake, that why, it starts long before filling out that application process.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day, getting prepared for this podcast. How many times so you talked about being in an airport, and I travel quite a bit now with my conferences I speak at. How many times have you had somebody, you're sitting next to them in an airport, and I love talking to people like complete strangers. I'll just talk to people because that's how I was raised. I don't know strangers. How many times have you had somebody go, why do you do what you do for a living? But how many times have you had somebody go, hey, what do you do for a living? Could you imagine if I didn't know you and you and I are sitting next to each other at an airport, and I said, hey, I'm LJay Geist, and I reach over and I shake your hand, and you go, hey, I'm Jake Barnes. And I look at you and I said, why do you do what you do for a living? Can you imagine the impact that we would make on people?
How do you start to answer that, though? That's a funny thing. How do you start to answer that? Because there's not one answer. How do you explain? It just, you know what I'm saying?
But you know what, though? If I ask somebody that question in an airport and they look at me and say, hey, I've never been asked that question. Are you on this flight coming up? Yeah, I'm on this flight. Man, can I think about this for a few minutes and I'll get back with you? 100%. And if that person comes up to me, if I'm sitting on the clear back of the plane and they're sitting on the front, and we get off that plane and they come up to me at the next stop and they say, "I'm going to tell you why I do what I do for a reason. Man, I got my master's degree in accounting, and I'm the CEO or I'm the boss of this big company, and I give a shit about the people that I'm over. And you know what? Right there, you can stop, because I know for a fact that you love the people that you're in charge of. I don't need to know anything else. I don't care about what you do for a living. But what about if I walked up and I didn't know you were a firefighter and I said, Jake Barnes, why do you do what you do for a living?" And you look at me and you say, "Because I was chosen by a higher authority, no matter what God you believe in, to do this job of a firefighter. And it is my job that every day I walk into my firehouse to serve and to protect the people that I swore to serve. It is my job and it is my honor to make those rides every single day, whether it's a lift assist, making a grab, cutting a family out on Christmas Day in a car wreck, whatever the case may be. My why is to love the people that I serve and to give them my very best every fucking day." If you look at me and you say that, I'm going to shake your hand and be like, "You know what, man? I will trust you with my family. I will trust you with my kids." Because that is where our citizens get the very best of us, is when we find our why. And sometimes we got to dig deep to find that, because there's days it's not easy, right? But when we find our why, man, we get to move to the next step of the process, which is your purpose. And the purpose that we have as a firefighter is to give every single person, no matter their race, no matter how rich or poor, no matter what's going on in their lives, our purpose is to serve them with the very best that we have. And if we can't do that, we are failing the people that we swore to protect. Clyde Gordon, I got it. Have you ever met Clyde Gordon?
No, I'm doing a fantasy fire department on my private group, 3-point firefighter, where we're picking positions from the chief on down, and he was definitely picked. I think he was picked as battalion chief.
I'm going to tell you something about Clyde Gordon. I think so I got to speak last weekend down in Oklahoma, and I got to share the stage with Clyde Gordon and Mo Davis, which, like, they're way up here, and here I am, just this podunk firefighter too from Western Kansas, right? Clyde Gordon, I'm pretty sure it's Clyde that said this. He said, if we, and we're getting off in a rabbit hole, but I want to throw this out there. He said, if we base the success of the fire ground off of everybody went home, we are failing the people that we swore to serve. If that is your mentality as a fire department, as a chief, battalion chief, lieutenant, captain, whatever your rank is, firefighter, if that is your mentality, man, I'm going to tell you something, Jake. I had a 9.5-hour drive home from that fire conference after that. That's what I had to think about. And it got me thinking, if that is your why and that is your purpose, you suck. You suck. And not you, Jake.
No, I got you.
You, as a fire department, as a firefighter, as a captain, officer, chief, battalion, you freaking suck. If that is your mentality, oh, hey, guys, we did good. Everybody went home. Really?
Yeah.
If that's how you look at the fire ground and the operations, man, you fucking suck, dude. I'm sorry. I don't even want to be. We should be better than that. It's okay to break things down and to go, post-incident review. Guys, what went good and what went bad for you? Man, I jumped, I was in the back seat. I got a ride back seat that day. I did a horrible job of stretching the line to where you told me, boss. Maybe I was acting up. I did my 360 and I told my firefighter, hey, lay this hose line there. and we should have put it around on the Charlie side to get to a quicker fire attack. But I can guarantee you this, the words ain't coming out of my mouth is I'm not going to say, well, you know what? Everybody went home, so we did okay. Screw that, man. We're better than that.
Right.
And if we can't look at that as the American Fire Service and as individual departments to be better, man, I question your authenticity and why you're in this job, because you freaking suck, man.
Man,
Plain and
keeping it
simple.
real. Keeping it real, LJ. Keeping it real. I love it. The thing
Yep.
about it is, we like to say, firefighters love to say, well, you know, no two fires are the same. Well, we shouldn't be the same either. We should be improving every single chance we can. Every single fire we go to, we should be better than the fire we just left. And if we're not,
Absolutely,
then we didn't objectively look at our performance. And anybody that says they went to a fire and said, man, I knocked that shit out of the park, wrong. Did you? I mean, think about before any fire. It always starts way before the fire. Have you done the right training? Have you read the right articles? Have you been taking care of yourself physically? Have you practiced some of the basics? I don't care if you're a captain, been on 30 years. If you don't practice putting your mask on, getting faster at that, you're failing. Speaking of that, right? If you don't practice turning out quicker, if you don't practice pulling the hose, there's nothing basic in the fire service. It's our job. There's our job. You know.
This is my son Porter. Real quick, keep going.
Hey Porter, how are you?
He said, "Hey Porter, how are you?" He just got home from basketball practice, so.
He looks tall on the screen.
He's taller than I am, and he's 13. So yeah.
Well, brother,
yeah, you're 100%. You're 100% right, man. No, you're 100% right. And I don't even know what to say sometimes, because if our primary purpose is not to show up every day at the firehouse and become 1% better, and to be better than we were the previous shift, to be better for the people we swore to serve, man, we screwed ourselves, man.
Yeah.
And we have so much trust to gain from our communities and the cities we serve. And it starts at the informal level, and it goes all the way up to the chief. And I've seen it so many times to where the formal leaders, and I'm not talking about my department right now because I'm pretty fortunate, but I've seen it so many times in previous departments and just going to conferences, talking to people that are like, LJ, my number one question is this: LJ, how can I get better leadership in my firehouse? Because my company offers, they don't give a shit, man. And I'm like,
yep.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, I try to sit there and talk to them. And the one thing that I always refer back to is you've got to continue to go to outside training. When I did my, and I know we're about over time, and I apologize. When I did my podcast with Corley Moore a while back, I had a question, and it referred to the training chief and the chief do not want to see our fire trucks out of quarters. They don't want to see us out in public. They don't want to see us outside training. What should I do? I lost my mind. And I told that I don't even know who it was. I don't even know the kid's name or the guy's name. I don't. But my answer to him was, I would be filling out an application at another fire department right damn now. Because if that's how your leaders want to see you guys, they are failing the people that they swore to protect. That is shit right there. That's not even leadership. That's just a bunch of dudes that have a position, have a white t-shirt, and they're doing nothing more than just coming into work and doing a half-assed job at their job.
Yep.
And how city management doesn't see that kind of stuff in HR absolutely blows my mind.
They don't know what to look for. We're such a unique entity. It's hard to quantify or qualify our successes, because for them, if they see red lights and trucks going down the street, from a city standpoint, we're doing our job. If we're not, getting firefighters killed or whatever, the city's fine with whatever leadership they have, right? They don't have any way to come in and truly and objectively see what we do and rank us. They just, we're the biggest suck on their budget. That's all they know. Just like here, just you do you, man. You're the chief of the department, man. And we got to have that accountability. We talked about this earlier. That chief, who's going to be his mentor? So what's even more scary is who's the chief accountable to, right? Somebody that didn't know anything about the fire service. So you got to think about that.
99% of the time.
Yeah.
What?
It's
how do we get better? It is aggravating, and man, our citizens deserve the very best of us every single day.
Yes. Yes.
Every single day. And if that's not your mentality going into the firehouse when you go in on shift, if every day that I walk from my pickup, hell, every day that I'm driving to the firehouse, there's three things that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about my men, and I'm not an officer. I'm a fire too. I'm a driver who gets to ride backwards on occasion and act up on occasion. I'm thinking about my men. I'm literally thinking about the calls that could come in, whether it be structure or car wreck, hazmat, whatever. But more importantly, what am I going to do today to make sure that every decision that I make in whatever seat I'm riding in is going to be the very best for the people I serve? If that's not your mentality, dude, get out, because you don't belong here. You don't. It's plain and simple.
Brother, we're going to end on that one because that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. I appreciate your time today. It meant a lot to me. I smell you coming back because we've got more we got to talk about. I think you know that. I've had a blast, and I tell you what, for my first Facebook Live, I wouldn't want it to go any other way. We've had up to 15 viewers. We've had multiple comments. It's been a great. This ain't a bad day, is it? This has been a great day. Tell me real quick where you're going to be teaching so everybody can find you.
So I'll be in Nebraska this next weekend. I'll be teaching my tailboard leadership class Saturday and Sunday morning. I'll be out with Mellon and his crew on the cadre teaching a Mayday medical class. I'll be down around the Tulsa area on March 4th. That's kind of a private deal. And then I'll be at the Cowboy Conference down in Oklahoma City through Oklahoma State University, March 24th, I believe is the day I'm speaking, and then doing some hands-on training. And then I'm going to the Uncommon Firefighters Week down in Texas.
Nice.
Going to go take part of that and hopefully make it through. And with Chris Snow and Pfluger and just a whole bunch of people coming in. And man, I just this stuff just keeps adding up. And man, I'm just humbled to be able to keep on loving the craft. And it's like I tell the people every time I go lecture, I'm a nobody, because I am. I'm a nobody. I'm a dude from Western Kansas, and if I can make one person, whether a volunteer, halfway city size, big city dude, just love the job more, that's what I'm here for. That's it, man. I just want to make people love the job, and I want to love people. I want them to know that when they meet me, that I'm a humble guy and that just loves the job and loves them. So, yeah, come check it out.
Brother, I tell you what, your passion's infectious. I always feel like, I'm up there. I'm really jazzed about the fire service. And I talked to a few people, and I'm just like, dude, I'm not even in the same ballpark. And you're one of those dudes, man. You got me motivated. You got everybody here motivated. I'm going to put this video up on YouTube in the next couple of days. I'm going to have a playlist called 3-Point Firefighter Forum. Do me a favor, check out my podcast on on Spotify, Google, 3-Point Firefighter. Check out my TikTok. Check out my Instagram, my Facebook page, which you're watching this on, and then join my Facebook group, private group. It's all about us. It's people like LJ that make the difference, and they're sharing. So get on my 3-Point Firefighter group, private group. Brother LJ, I cannot thank you enough, man. And you will be back on here. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, also, brothers, send me the ones that won. Send me your address to 3pointfirefighter@gmail.com, and I will send your stuff out tomorrow. Stay safe. Make lots of runs. Brother, you got me all excited. I got to go eat, but I'm excited. I'll be eating like this.
Let's do it again soon.
Son, we're doing it. We're doing it. I tell you right now, we're doing it. And email me your address. I want to send you some treats too. Yeah. You got me all fucking wired, dude. I'm just like,
I love it.
And here's the thing, though. I gotta go. I gotta tell you, people like you. There's a few people like you, and there's a lot actually, but not everybody I talk to gets me kind of wired like this, where I'm all excited about what I do. I feel lucky about what I do, but I also feel I wasted my first 10, 15 years of the fire service by not getting into it as much as I did near the end. I didn't have the experience. I don't know, but I love it, dude. Fucking love it. Best job in the world. Feel bad for firefighters, or I'm sorry, fighter pilots and astronauts because they don't get to be us.
That's right. Well, hey, man, thank you so much, Jake. And, dude, it's been a fun time. It went fast.
It totally did. We didn't get to talk about a lot of stuff, but here's the thing. This is a more informal thing than my podcast, and I want it to be. So we're going to get you back on here. We're going to talk some more shit. Once I hit my 100 days and I can have cold beer with you, then we'll both get fired the fuck up.
Let's try to make a plan to meet somewhere at a conference. And
you going to be at FDIC?
I'm hoping. I put in for it. So, man, I screwed up. I was going to put in to come up and teach my tailboard leadership class, but it was during the time that I was teaching the recruit academy, and that's just crazy. I mean, it's 3 to 4 weeks of hell for the instructors, and but I put in to go, so I'm hoping to be there. If I do, I'll call you. I'm going to save your phone number in my phone.
Please do, and then text me anytime you get a good job. Text me anything that's going on. Stay in touch, brother. Stay in touch. And I'll be in Olathe teaching again, but that's way east of you. I go to Colorado fairly often teaching.
Okay.
I mean,
what are you teaching in Olathe?
I'm NFPA 1700, a 2-day class with some classroom, and then like a bunch of stations day 2 with drills about ventilation. The whole new NFPA 1700. It's pretty fucking awesome. An NFPA standard that has VES in it now. That shit is dope.
Hell yeah. That'll be good. When are you doing that?
I'm in Olathe in March. I don't know. I'm in from 6th to the 10th, beginning of March. I'll be teaching at The Rock and FDNY. The next week is when I go to Olathe. And then 2 weeks after that, I go down to Pearland, Texas, where Jacob Johnson is. I get to meet Jacob down there. I'm going to do one of these down there with him.
Such a good dude right there.
Oh, he's fucking awesome, dude.
That's another guy I can't wait to meet.
See, I put in bids for Pearland. We've been down there before, and I never got them. And the instructors that get them, I contact them. I'm like, dude, you're going down to Pearland. They're like, yeah, we love Texas. I'm like, no. You're going to Pearland. Okay. It's a small suburb of Houston, right? Jacob Johnson, do your damn job. And then that whole area, what you talk about, Mo Davis, Devin Craig. Devin Craig's on next week.
Oh, man, that dude.
Huh?
I got to meet him. Have you met him?
I've only talked to him on here and chatted with him on phone.
I met him in Revolutionary Fire Tactics at the lake, not last year, but the year before. Man, that is such a cool dude.
Yeah.
So much fun to be around.
He's another one of those that, like I said, there's a lot. I've had 3 seasons of this show, right? So I've made a lot of good contacts, and I didn't have one bad guest. I haven't had one bad guest, but there's some people that I vibe with right off the bat. You're one of them. Devin was one of them. Like I said, Mark Malone, Josh Chase, Dave Mellon. I was on his Hot Wing Challenge at FDIC. It's the best thing in the world, brother. That's why I get so mad. I'm like, oh, why didn't you do this, 10 years into your damn job? You're waiting till you're about to retire to fucking make a difference. But I'm doing it, though.
Man, just keep going, man. You are making a difference, man. And I am so humbled that I would get to be on your show with guys who are way bigger and better than I am, man. When I say I'm a nobody, man, I'm a nobody. I just happen to love the job.
I'm glad you see yourself that way, but that video changed my fucking brain. It changed my brain. That. And then meeting you here, honestly, that video is almost nothing compared to what you said tonight, in my opinion. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. I'm just like, that video fucking got me going. But hearing you for an entire hour and noting that video is a drop in the bucket of passion you got, right? You got so much goddamn passion, and you're making. I call people like you landscapers. You're changing the landscape of the fire service, and that's what you are. You're a landscaper. And as much as I love that video, up till the beginning of this podcast, dude, I was like, I don't need that video. I just want to talk to LJ.
Well,
You
I
got me
appreciate
jazzed
it,
up,
man.
dude. You can tell I'm fucking wound, man. I am wound.
You
love
are.
this shit. I love it.
I love it. Man,
All right,
thank
brother.
you so much.
I'm going to go eat some food. I'll talk to you later and stay in touch.
All right. Love you, brother.
Love you too, bud. Stay safe.
See you. All right.
Today's podcast was sponsored by Fire Facilities, designers and manufacturers of realistic, built-to-last training structures and mobile units for 30 years. Make training count. Visit firefacilities.com for more information.